Man, I don't know what it is with these go-home shows for WWE. I really don't know, man. They call these go-home shows. I thought they were supposed to get you excited for the pay-per-view. I didn't think they take these go-home shows literally to the bank. It's as if they want people to literally go home. SmackDown Live was awful tonight. SmackDown Live did nothing to get you excited outside of two things for SummerSlam. Joe's great promo, very brief and very quick, very to the point. And then the beautiful WrestleMania-like video packages that we got spread out through this show for Daniel Bryan and The Miz on Sunday night. But this show was awful. Absolutely awful. So awful, I didn't even take notes. Usually I sit with my iPad and I take notes on things that I see. When we got done with the first hour of the show, we were given a half an hour of Trashmella. Can you imagine that? A half an hour of Trashmella. A half an hour of I am the Queen at Barclays Center. Charlotte. And a half an hour worth of a women's tag team match. And then from there, it went nowhere. The entire first hour was women's tag team match, video package for The Miz, a New Day squash match, pretty much with Sanity. They didn't get me excited about SummerSlam. Now, I'm going to give SmackDown slight breaks with this show. Or a slight break with this show. Because, like I said, the Miz and Daniel Bryan video package tonight, unbelievable. Excellent. Samoa Joe, always excellent. And my God, did you see Joe in his suit tonight? Man, it's very difficult not to think about my fantasy creative booking for Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, Andrade Cien Almas. Please resurrect Bobby Roode, get him in there. That's a nice four-piece stable right there, man. Joe looked pretty sweet in that suit tonight. I wonder if he listened to Off the Script, or I wonder if he listened to this show last week. He's got the nice suit, you know, it fits him good. But I'm going to give SmackDown, in all seriousness, I'm going to give SmackDown a little bit of a break. They did a very, very good job. They did an admirable job at getting their portion of SummerSlam lined up. They did a much better job than Monday Night Raw. I give a shit about nothing over on Monday Night Raw. Absolutely nothing. Even with Dean Ambrose coming back last night on Monday Night Raw. I don't even give a shit about the Rollins-Ziggler match. I don't care about Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss. I don't care about Braun Strowman. I don't care about the tag team titles. You guys know I don't give a fuck about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. They absolutely fucking set that shit ablaze last night and burned every fucking piece of intrigue that could have been with that possible cliffhanger with Heyman and Roman. Well, we'll talk about that this weekend, man, because I really don't think that this is going to be exactly what we think it's going to be. But we'll talk about that on the preview and prediction show for SummerSlam. But SmackDown Live did a much better job at getting everybody ready and presenting their portion of SummerSlam through the weeks of build. So, you know, I'm not going to kill them too hard tonight on what was an awful show, but the weeks prior to tonight, they did what was an admirable job at getting you excited for the shit that they got lined up. I do want to make a couple of quick notes here before we get into the results, man. I'm not really going to go an hour like I've been going with these SmackDown Live reviews because A, I didn't take notes, B, there really wasn't much to talk about, and we just have to wait till SummerSlam. Now we got all this shit out of the way. Now it's the big time, and now it's Sunday. SummerSlam, we got to get ready for what's going to happen, and it's going to be a long fucking Sunday afternoon. My goodness. But speaking of this weekend, man, we got a lot of things going on this weekend. I want to make mention. Number one, Friday, I will be in Jamaica, Queens. I'll be there with House of Glory, High Intensity 7. Me and Solid Monster of the Solid Monster Sounds Off. He's going to be doing a pre-show with me. He's going to be my special guest, and we're going to be doing a pre-show from 5:30 to 6:30, I believe. And bell time is going to be at 7 p.m. So that's going to be great. High Intensity 7 is their biggest show of the year. HOGWrestling.net. We are expecting a sold-out crowd, and it's going to be a damn good show right before SummerSlam weekend kicks off. Saturday, I will be in Brooklyn the majority of the day. And I know you guys are going to be in Brooklyn for NXT TakeOver. I'm excited about that. I'm not really sure if I'm going to the show or not. I possibly have a ticket lined up through my buddy Ticket Drew of Ticket King Online. And I'm waiting to see what I have to do with that. So it's 50-50 right now. But regardless of where I'm going to be watching TakeOver, whether it's here and then doing a review for you guys, or if it's going to be me being there live watching it, I am going to be in Brooklyn from 2 to 5 p.m. And I'm going to be at the 4th Avenue Pub. It is on 76 4th Street, I believe is the address for the bar I'm going to be at. And we're going to be drinking craft beer. You guys can come meet and greet. It's going to be a small little hangout. I'm not really over promoting it. I'm just going to be there. You guys wanted me to be in and around Brooklyn on Saturday. That's where I'm going to be. So it's the 4th Avenue Pub. It's a literal 3-minute walk to the Barclays Center. So if you guys want to come hang out with me, I know Solid Monster's doing a meet and greet that day as well. You guys can easily walk back and forth between both of the venues. He's at the King's Beer Hall. It's literally 2 minutes away. I'm going to be at the 4th Avenue Pub. It's a literal 3-block radius from the bar to the Barclays Center, man. So please come on out. I would appreciate you guys come on out and support. Have a few cold ones with me. Talk the shit. Go over NXT. Take some pictures. You know, get called a goon. Whatever you guys want to do. I'll be there on Saturday afternoon. You guys can RSVP to that. I would love to take a head count. I would love to take a head count of how many people are going to show up. So I'm going to leave you the Facebook event invite down in the comments section. If you're going to be in New York, if you're going to be there Saturday afternoon, going to TakeOver, come on out. 4th Avenue Pub, that's where I'll be. And then Sunday is the main event. Sunday is SummerSlam. Sunday I will be with Justin LaBar and Ticket Drew at 205th. I'll be there at 3 p.m. We're going to be there till 6. And we're going to be doing a huge Q&A. We're going to be giving away, I believe, something. I think Ticket Drew told me today that we're going to be giving away something. There's going to be a giveaway. There may be a little table for 3 deal going on with me, Justin, and Drew. We don't know about that yet. We got to get the details ironed out. And we may be doing some fantasy booking on this afternoon as well. So you guys are going to come on out, man. It's going to be a big deal. 205th's got great fucking food, great drinks. There's going to be drink specials, wrestling-themed drink specials. So you guys can come on out, man. 205th from 3 to 6 p.m. That is a literal 5-minute walk to the Barclays Center, man. Everything is confined within a 3 to 5-minute walk to the Barclays Center. And if you guys want to stay at the bar, they're going to be showing SummerSlam as it goes live on the WWE Network, man. So thank you guys so much. Come on out. And in between all of this big activity, I'm going to be giving you off the script. Tomorrow, we got NXT TakeOver Brooklyn number 4 preview and predictions, a 45-minute video of me talking nothing about anything else but NXT. So it's going to be great. I did a WWE 2K video this afternoon of the new Daniel Bryan 2K showcase, Monday Night Raw, and here we are for SmackDown Live. Thank you guys so very much, man. Let's get into this review. I want to start this thing off by going over how the show opened up, and that was with Charlotte, Becky, and Carmella. They all come face to face. I was hoping that with what Carmella was saying here, that we would get her bragging how I beat Charlotte twice, how I beat Becky Lynch, and blah, 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 blah. I was hoping when Paige came out during this segment that we were going to get Asuka thrown into a match with Carmella tonight and then get her added to SummerSlam and make this triple threat into a fatal 4-way. I am kind of disheartened that Asuka has been off TV for the last couple of weeks and somehow forgotten going into SummerSlam. That really doesn't sit well with me, seeing where she was just a year ago in NXT. Charlotte, Becky, and Carmella come face to face with each other to open SmackDown Live.
You know what's almost as absurd as Paige making me defend my title against the two of you in a triple threat at SummerSlam? Is Paige forcing me to come out here tonight for this face to face to face. I'm tired of your faces. Just like I'm tired of constantly being punished for being such an amazing champion. But hey, I am the champ, right? So life is good, baby.
Life is not good when we have to watch her wrestle. Life is actually very miserable when we have to watch her wrestle. So I don't know how life is good for her. She's sporting around and parading around with a title that A, doesn't fit her correctly, B, is undeserved, number two. Number three, she's just god-awful in the ring. Just by looking at her standing next to Becky Lynch and Carmella, you could easily see which one does not belong. Carmella, trash Mella, Monopoly money. Mella ain't money. Mella is Monopoly money. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. Go directly to jail. Fucking garbage.
Okay, but let's talk about something that everyone else is thinking. Poor Becky Lynch. Becky, you don't stand a chance now. Oh, you used to be a clown for a living, right? Maybe you should think about doing that again, because it's the one thing you do better than Charlotte.
Wow, Carmella throwing the word clown around. The only clown I see in the ring, and the only clown that I've been seeing on SmackDown Live in the women's division, is the one speaking of the clowns. She is the queen clown. She's the biggest clown of them all.
What do you want? You want me to say that I don't want Charlotte Flair in the SmackDown women's title match at SummerSlam? Okay, I'm human, I'll say it. But it's only because Charlotte is an incredible athlete. And every match that she's in decreases the odds of winning for anyone else. And I was losing sleep thinking about dismantling you one-on-one at SummerSlam. But then Charlotte made her way into the match, and I didn't feel sorry for myself, but I had to start thinking of a new dream. And that dream involves beating you and whooping you.
You see, Becky is so easily likable. And we talked about this already. If I'm going to do anything, and the only reason why I gave it a maybe is because I'm not sure where WWE lies on this. I would definitely make Charlotte into a heel. And WWE needs to start planning getting Charlotte into a heel role. Because if Ronda Rousey is on Charlotte's radar, and if Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte is on WWE's radar, one of them needs to be a heel and one of them needs to be a babyface. Clearly, we know Ronda is not going to be a heel. Charlotte plays a much better heel than she does a babyface. I actually enjoyed Charlotte, for the most part, as a heel, outside of the fact that she was forced down everybody's throat with the Charlotte Flair agenda on Monday Night Raw with Sasha Banks. It was god-awful. It was every fucking week. And I didn't like it whatsoever. But Charlotte as a babyface, I am not invested in as far as character. I'm not. Charlotte as a heel now, in this situation, and then going into next year, I think is a damn near necessity at this point. And to me, I'm not interested in seeing Charlotte versus Becky, buddy, friendly, back and forth between the both of them. Best friends, tea time. I'm not into that. I think this feud, if it's going where I think it's going, or where I want it to go, I want Becky to be screwed over at SummerSlam. I want Becky to be screwed over at SummerSlam. I want the frustration to mount on Becky to a point where Charlotte is forced to treat her best friend like shit. She's the queen. She's got the title. She's Charlotte Flair. Yeah, you're best friends with Becky Lynch. Yeah, there's tea time with Becky Lynch. But when it comes down to it, it's the championship that's going to separate Charlotte from Becky. And Charlotte's always had this demeanor about being better than everybody. And she's going to rub it in Becky's face that she couldn't get the job done. I want Charlotte to be a heel after all is said and done here. And if where they're going with this means Becky winning the championship at Evolution in October, then I'm all for it. And then Charlotte, after October, going into November, December, needs to get ready for the Royal Rumble, because Charlotte, right now, right out of the gate, she's my pick to win the Royal Rumble. That's where I'm going. Charlotte cannot be champion going into Survivor Series. She can't. I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw Review. If Charlotte wins the championship at SummerSlam and is a transitional champion for 2 months, I'm okay with that. Because then that means Becky's going to get the title. And then Becky's going to be in the spotlight on her own because she beat Charlotte and now she's got a one-on-one match against Ronda Rousey. Because you got to start planning for the Survivor Series. You got to start planning for the Survivor Series. I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw Review. This is very important for WWE to start planning. They're not giving away Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey at the fucking Survivor Series. They're not. They're going to save it for WrestleMania. Charlotte's moving to Monday Night Raw by winning the Royal Rumble and challenging Ronda Rousey. They've already teased it. They planted the seeds for it. It's happening. Becky's going to be the world champion, or the women's champion rather, going into the Survivor Series. It's going to be Becky versus Ronda Rousey at the Survivor Series. And that's going to be a great showcase match for Becky. And it's going to be a good match for Ronda Rousey because she's going to be working with somebody, finally, that can actually fucking work. So that's where my mindset is at right now. I don't mind if Charlotte wins at SummerSlam. She will not, if she does, hold that title going into the Survivor Series. Becky's title is going to be won at Evolution. That's where I'm going with all of this.
Do you know how hard it is to beat Charlotte? I beat Charlotte Flair twice. But I'm fabulous.
We all know that she sucks.
Charlotte
She's just saying that to
every
garner
women's
heel heat.
title possible. She ended Asuka's undefeated streak. She won the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. Right? Give it up for her. She did it. But you were the first SmackDown Women's Champion, but that's only because Charlotte was on Raw.
All right, enough. Carmella, it's over. You know that you can't hang with anyone in this division, so you have to pull out every stop to cling on to that SmackDown Women's Championship. And in order to beat Asuka, you had to dig up James Ellsworth. And you wonder why the WWE Universe doesn't respect you? Really? Oh, I know. Maybe it's because you're a diva living in a women's era.
I am a diva, and I'm damn proud of it.
Mr. D-O-double-G, you watching my shows, bro? I see you, dog. I see you, bro. You gotta be watching and you gotta be taking little pointers to include in your script on Tuesday. I know it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that Randy Orton said exactly what I said a couple of weeks ago. Oh, last week, rather. It was just last week he said it. And now Charlotte is saying the same thing that I've been saying about both Alexa and Carmella. That they're nothing but blonde Barbie doll divas parading around as world championship female wrestlers. So it's not a coincidence that Charlotte uttered that to one Carmella. Gotta be watching me, bro. Gotta be watching me, or gotta be monitoring my social media, one or the other. And I'm not stroking my own cock here, but that's a damn near 2 week in a row now coincidence that whatever I stated on this very review is now put into dialogue on this very show. And Charlotte is right. The reason why I appreciated that line so much is not because that I said it, but the reason I appreciated it so much is because everything that Charlotte said there is actual 100% truth. It is factual information. Carmella is a diva. And she says that she's proud to be a diva. Well, if you're proud to be a diva, then give up the Women's Championship, because the Women's Championship does not belong around the waist of a diva. If you want to be a diva, go be on Total Divas and give the championship to an actual wrestler. Everything that Charlotte Flair said there speaks 100% fact.
I have something you two will never have. Compare my beauty to yours.
I don't know, bro. I take Becky Lynch over Carmella. That's just me. I don't know what Carmella's talking about. Now, listen, Carmella's not that bad looking. But over Becky Lynch, nah, bro. Step aside.
Body to yours. Compare my charisma to yours. Oh, I have one more comparison. I'm the champ and you're not.
Hopefully not for long. So that was that. That was the opening segment. It wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. Listen, I rag on Carmella a lot, and she is god-awful in the ring. There's no denying that, but the best thing about Carmella's act is the fact that she can talk and she can get underneath somebody's skin legitimately. Now, we all know the shit that comes out of her mouth is complete bullshit, but the bullshit that comes out of her mouth is enough to get the job done, and she's playing the right role. She's a nuisance, she sucks, she's annoying, and everything that comes out of her mouth is equally on all of those levels. So, she's playing the right character, and she has a ton of charisma, yes. But that's the only thing she has going for her outside of the blonde Barbie doll look. It's time we get the championship off Carmella. This experiment, this phase is over with. And hopefully WWE does not put the title back on a blonde Total Diva Barbie doll for a very long time. We go into a tag team match. Paige comes out and says that Flair and Becky can now show Carmella what they are made of to open SmackDown Live in a tag team match. Apparently, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were asking for this match, and Paige made the match official. So Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville versus Becky, and I was going to say Ric Flair. No difference anyway. Charlotte Flair. Carmella was sitting at ringside. This was a throwaway match. This was nothing more than an enhancement match to get them ready for SummerSlam. At the end of this thing, you seen a Bexploder for the win and a disarmer. So it was a Bexploder into a disarmer. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair win. There was a moment where it was very similar. I don't know if you guys noticed. Very similar to what happened the week prior when they went against the Iconics. Becky was on the outside and in the corner, and when she was in the ring celebrating with Charlotte Flair, she kind of had this disgruntled look on her face as if Charlotte was taking the spotlight away from her. They did the same thing here tonight, but the roles were reversed. Charlotte made mention that she didn't get tagged in, and Becky kind of took over the match herself and won the match herself. Charlotte made something, made mention of something that she was crazy out there, and she went full on out there, or something along those lines. And, it's not a coincidence that, I noticed that on Becky's demeanor last week, and now here we are this week, and Charlotte is kind of uttering the same thing back to Becky. There's that little competitive nature between the two. It should be interesting. I'm going with Charlotte at the end of this thing to win the Women's Championship. Yes, undeserved. But if it's for the greater good of the storyline, then I'm okay with Charlotte being a transitional champion before she gets ready for bigger and better things going on into WrestleMania season. We have Daniel Bryan and The Miz. The first clip that we see is of Miz and Maurice at their home. Apparently, USA Network has signed on Miz and Mrs. for a second season already after 3 episodes. I don't know how the ratings are doing. Apparently, they must be doing good if the USA Network signed them on for a second season. That's great for WWE, I guess. More exposure. That's great for both of them. Like I said, more exposure. So they go to thank everybody and promise that the second season will be like nothing we have ever seen. So we go from that being the first thing mentioned here in the entirety of this Miz Daniel Bryan package that we were about to see tonight. 2-on-3 handicap match, Bludgeon Brothers versus the Triple Threat. No, I'm not talking about Shane Douglas. I'm not talking about Chris Candido. I'm not talking about Bam Bam Bigelow. Not talking about the ECW Triple Threat. I'm assuming if Shane Douglas was watching this show that he would have a fucking major issue with what they named these 3 goons on this show. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Triple Threat. 3 local jobbers from wherever they were emanating from tonight. I don't even know where they were from tonight. Who the fuck cares? These guys were absolutely destroyed. The match didn't even get started. They literally got destroyed. Harper and Rowan immediately attacked these 3 guys. They hit the double crucifix bomb in the middle of the ring. They run to the floor and destroy the other 2 guys, knocking them together, slamming one into the barricade. I think Harper slams Rowan on top of one of the guys. It was just fucking chaos. They are trying to build the Bludgeon Brothers up as this dominating team that will ultimately lose the tag team championships because nobody gives a shit about the Bludgeon Brothers, which is a shame because WWE put so much effort into getting these guys over, or at least try getting these guys over, and nobody cares. So now they're back to square one. Well, if no other team is going to get over, we're just going to give it right back to the New Day, and they'll probably give us a feud with the Usos, and we'll be back to square one all over again. Same old typical rinse and repeat from WWE. Speaking of the New Day. New Day versus Sanity. Now, on top of Sanity losing this match, which I don't know why you would book Sanity in this match, I'm sure you have other teams on SmackDown Live. I mean, who else is on SmackDown Live? You gotta have some other fucking team on SmackDown Live to put against the New Day. Why does it have to be Sanity? Like, I don't understand this. I'm at a point right now where Sanity, I wish upon a star, was back down in NXT. These guys are former NXT Tag Team Champions. These guys were a serious thing down in NXT. A stable that Triple H had concocted 10 years ago and finally made into a reality in NXT with the right people. Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, Eric Young. Their whole thing was about starting chaos on SmackDown Live. What have they done on SmackDown Live that has been so chaotic? The only thing that is chaotic with Sanity is their fucking win-loss record. How many wins do they have? Do you remember any of their wins? I don't. Do you remember their losses? That's the one thing that stands out about their win-loss record. The losses that they have accumulated. The only wins that I see that Sanity have are a win over the New Day at Extreme Rules on the pre-show. In a tables match. Other than that, I don't even care. Nor do I care to remember. The only thing that sticks out with Sanity is how many times they continue to lose. And this is disgusting. It's disgusting. There's no reason why Sanity in this spot has to lose. And what the fuck is with Killian Dane and his new attire? What is that? I don't understand that shit. So here we are with Killian Dane. Comes up from NXT. He's got an identity to him. He's got something that stands out about him. Something that makes him different. And WWE takes that difference, that is Killian Dane, and the monster look that Killian Dane had, and they suppressed his look, and they suppressed whatever monster-like mystique Killian Dane had by putting him in that fucking Olympic-style singlet that Jack Swagger and Kurt Angle used to wear. Are you fucking kidding me? That is absolutely god-awful attire. And whoever made that decision in WWE Creative, Vince, I'm talking to you, you fucking senile old man. What the fuck is that? Not only is Sanity buried, now they can join the Authors of Pain. NXT Tag Team Champions. Buried on the main roster. Yet everybody wants the Young Bucks to come to WWE. I ask why. Look at the state of tag team wrestling in WWE. If you're not the New Day or the Usos, you are shit out of luck. And this is WWE's problem. They get too comfortable with a few staple teams in the division and they fail to push anybody else. Or let me rephrase that. Anybody that comes up from NXT, they fail to push. Look at all the tag teams that failed coming up from NXT. I'm going to start with American Alpha. These guys were broken up within 6 months because WWE didn't know how to book them. Chad Gable and Jason Jordan went on their own. They split them up and they were on separate brands. What happened to the Ascension? They were the most dominating tag team in all of NXT history. The longest reigning NXT tag team champions have done absolutely nothing on the main roster. Nothing. Then we have Sanity. And then we have the Authors of Pain. We have the Revival. Look at all the tag teams that have come up from NXT that have done great and provided us with fucking matches that we continuously go back to the network on these takeover shows to go watch. And now look at them. A complete joke. So I ask you, why on earth would you ever want the Undisputed Era to come up from NXT? Why would you ever want a team like the Street Profits or the War Raiders to come on up from NXT? If WWE has taken what NXT made great in all these teams and have absolutely fucking buried them, what do you think is going to await everybody else that wants to get demoted from NXT? Because that's what Monday Night Raw and SmackDown is. It's a demotion. I pray that no other team from this point on ever makes the main roster. I'm sorry. Sanity is a fucking joke. Killian Dane looked like a goddamn fucking clown out there. And I don't understand how months ago we were watching Killian Dane just rip it up in NXT. Last year, we were watching Killian Dane give me an all-star performance inside War Games. And you're going to take that, you're going to change it, you're going to suppress it. This guy had monster written all over him. This guy had fucking Bam Bam Bigelow Vader type fucking, monster written all over him. And this is what they do to him? Sickening. Absolutely sickening. New Day win here. This was a glorified squash match. A glorified squash match. The New Day, did you expect them to lose going into SummerSlam against the Bludgeon Brothers for the tag team titles? You got to be out of your fucking mind if you thought Sanity was going to win this match. We got a big ending, midnight hour. Big E covers for the win. New Day beat Sanity in a joke of a tag team match. Moving on here, man. We had Paige stopped by Samoa Joe's locker room and his dressing room. Paige says Joe and Styles had the chance to address the WWE Universe separately tonight, but he refused. Joe's reasoning was, I'm shy. I laughed my ass off. I'm shy. And man, does he look good in that suit, man. Man, if WWE goes with my running idea of a 4-man stable with him, Almas, Orton, and Bobby Roode, money. Absolutely money, man. I would put those 4 up against any of Raw's 4 at the Survivor Series. So she doesn't want him to ruin the SummerSlam main event, so he needs to be professional tonight. Joe ends up promising Paige that he will do whatever he wants, when he wants to. Joe says to Paige, Styles and the rest of the WWE Universe have to deal with the consequences. You wanted me to be unpredictable? I'm going to be unpredictable. Joe teases that he will just sit in the back and watch the show. That he's going to watch her hard work as he sits in his locker room. Aiden English versus Andrade Cien Almas. This was, as expected, Aiden English was not going to win here. This was a squash match. Almas with the running knees. Almas with the hammerlock DDT. Almas with an easy victory over Aiden English. Aiden English wants to see Rusev, Lana, Zelina Vega, and Andrade Cien Almas just tear it up at SummerSlam. English starts singing about making amends and saying sorry for letting his friends down. They show Rusev and Lana watching backstage. English continues singing Rusev Day, but obviously his efforts were not enough as he loses to Andrade Cien Almas. After the match, Vega, in her very, very noticeable New York accent, she gets in the ring and joins Almas for a celebration. Vega takes the microphone and tells everyone to mark their calendars because on Sunday, Almas takes over and it's going to be the end of Rusev Day. So she sounds a lot better than I do. I got that fucking Vince Russo thing going on over here, bro. Vega adds, bro. At the end of the day, bro, Lana Day is going to be canceled off the calendar, bro, because she plans to expose Lana for what she really is, bro. And Lana, bro, is dead weight, bro. She's bringing her husband down, bro. So then Rusev comes out with Lana, bro. Rusev accuses them of acting like they just won the lottery. Rusev says Almas luck has run out this Sunday and Vega will learn why Lana is the best. And Lana is number one, bro. There you go, bro. Your Vince Russo impersonation for the evening. AJ Styles is backstage in Paige's office. Paige, just moments ago, was talking to Joe. So now she's talking to AJ, telling him the same thing. Stay professional tonight so their SummerSlam main event is not in jeopardy. Paige says the people look up to AJ, and she needs him to keep it together tonight. AJ then says that he made a promise to his wife, and he will keep that promise to his wife tonight. And just keep in mind, keep that little nugget of information. AJ Styles' wife. That's all I'm going to say. Jeff Hardy versus Shelton Benjamin here on SmackDown Live. Shelton Benjamin is, yes, still employed. I don't think we've seen him for a couple of months now. Ever since the draft, I don't even think we've seen Shelton Benjamin. He was feuding with Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. I thought Shelton Benjamin was going to be right in the mix for the United States Championship. According to WWE, he's probably not even worth it at this juncture. So Jeff Hardy is in the ring with Shelton Benjamin. Hardy hits a sling blade, and he nails a twist of fate for a quick win here against Shelton Benjamin. Really nothing special to it. They needed to keep Hardy with some momentum, even though he's been getting his ass kicked with Randy Orton every week now, leading up to this point. Jeff Hardy wins. After the match, Hardy's celebration is interrupted by Shinsuke Nakamura. Shelton Benjamin, a sore loser, on the outside, tries to distract Jeff Hardy, and with Nakamura coming down to ringside, he tries to take advantage of Jeff Hardy off the distraction from Shelton Benjamin, and Nakamura charges for a Kinshasa. Hardy blocks it, hits a twist of fate. Hardy goes to the top, nails a swanton bomb for a big pop from the crowd. Hardy then has his music go off, and in the distance, behind the curtain, WWE pans the camera, and we see Randy Orton creeping. We see Randy Orton stalking Jeff Hardy, looking around the curtain, looking at Hardy celebrating on SmackDown Live. Now, Randy Orton has not been added to the United States Championship match. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know what's going to happen. Clearly, WWE is setting up a program with Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. And I don't think Shinsuke Nakamura walks out of Brooklyn with the United States Championship. That's just me. That's just me. But Hardy has his eyes on Orton. Orton has his eyes on Hardy. And right now, Orton isn't in anything at SummerSlam, which makes me believe that Hardy is going to win the United States Championship back, and it's going to go right back to Randy Orton when all is said and done. Samoa Joe and AJ Styles is the only thing left for WWE to plug here on the Go Home show. Now, I loved this closing segment. I really did. I thought this was fantastic. Styles is in the ring with the microphone. He goes on to speak, but everybody loves AJ. They're chanting his name. Says that he's blessed because for almost 20 years, he's been able to travel the world and compete against the best sports entertainment that has to offer. So he's traveled the world and he's competed against the best that sports entertainment has to offer. AJ, I love that AJ's been putting over the WWE Championship, and and he's just making it feel important by what he says and how valuable it is to him, how important it is to him. And he's went on a couple of weeks now saying that SmackDown has the most prestigious world title in all of WWE. He says there's a reason why it's so hard to hold on to, because the pressure that the title holder is always put under is difficult. Styles says Joe hit his pressure points because he's a mastermind. Now keep that in mind as well. Styles' wife and Joe is a mastermind. Styles says it started when Joe blindsided him 3 weeks ago. So we follow all these video packages that we've seen. We've seen the attack with the contract signing. We've seen Joe call Styles a failure as a father and a failure as a husband, and that he's going to burn the house that AJ Styles built and take the WWE Championship. He had to defend himself. He got emotional, and Joe took him to a place he never wanted to go. At one point, with Paige saying Joe needs to keep his distance because she doesn't want the main event ruined, telling AJ to keep his distance because she doesn't want the main event ruined. I thought things was going to break down here tonight, and I thought WWE was going to book this match as a no-holds-barred match at SummerSlam. That's what I was under the impression. I thought this match was going to be made into a no-holds-barred match. Because if you really think about it, adding a stipulation to this match really isn't all that out of the realm of possibility. Because next month, in September, is Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is moved from October to September because we have 2 pay-per-views already. In October, we got the Australian Super Show, and we have Evolution. So there's no pay-per-view. There's no traditional pay-per-view in October because of those 2 shows. Hell in a Cell was moved from October to September. So whatever happens here between Joe and Styles is going to finish inside Hell in a Cell. So I thought they were going to add a stipulation to this and then finish it in Hell in a Cell. But 2 things here with that mindset. One, I don't think Joe was going to win the world title. I don't think Joe was going to win the WWE Championship. And if he doesn't win the championship, if he's going to lose at SummerSlam and then lose inside Hell in a Cell, A, what do you do with Styles? B, you're going to take the title off Styles now when he has all this plethora of talent ready to just go against him. Look at how great Randy Orton's doing. How many people want to see Randy Orton versus AJ Styles right now with the way Randy Orton's been operating? Styles and Bryan, Styles and Almas. There's no shortage of opponents for AJ Styles at all. What are you going to do with AJ if he doesn't have the World Championship? And I don't think WWE is going to take the World Championship off AJ because he's the cover boy for WWE 2K19. They want him as the World Champion going into the game's release. And the game's release is the second week of October, rather. And we will be long gone with Hell in a Cell. And the other point is, how do you keep Joe looking strong if he's going to lose twice here to AJ Styles? So I'm already thinking, what if Joe loses? Because right now, I don't see AJ Styles losing that World Championship. I really don't. It's going to be a very difficult situation. It's going to be a very interesting situation going into SummerSlam and beyond for the WWE Championship. Because by all accounts, Joe is so great, it's been long overdue that this guy, is deserving of the WWE Championship. He is such a good heel. And I mentioned this on my NXT review. The better the heel, the greater the villain. The greater the villain, the greater the babyface. It's not the other way around. A good babyface does not make a good villain. It starts with the villain first. The greater the villain, the better the babyface. And I don't need to fucking relive history to tell you guys that. Just look back at all the great villains. If there wasn't a great villain, there'd be no great babyface. Look at how good Vince McMahon was. Vince McMahon is the greatest heel of all time. Do you think it would have had that much of an impact if it was anybody else with Stone Cold Steve Austin? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you could go on through the annals of history. I don't need to sit here and go over that analogy or that mindset. The greater the villain, the better the babyface will be. And Joe is such a great villain that I think if he was the world champion, we would see a greater Daniel Bryan. We'd see a greater AJ Styles. And look at what Ciampa is doing right now. Ciampa is such a great villain. By all accounts, everybody that he's in the ring with is going to be that much better off because of how great he has been operating. And I stick to that. So, AJ says he got home and he wants to be home where he could hold his wife and his kids. His wife, Wendy, told him that he can't lose his cool like he did. The family loves him and respects what he does, but he has to stay focused because they want to ultimately see him succeed. Joe comes out and interrupts AJ Styles' moment. Joe has a microphone in hand, pulls a letter out from his suit jacket. It says AJ told the fans a lovely tale, but they both know he wasn't telling the truth. Joe tells AJ to relax because he wants to help AJ keep his promise to his wife. Joe has a letter from a fan that he thought AJ needed to hear. The letter was written to Joe and says Joe's comments made him physically ill because they weren't true. The fan used to be the biggest AJ fan in the world, but it was now clear that AJ never wanted kids or a wife. The fan believes AJ will do anything to become champion to stay away from his family. The fan prays Joe wins at SummerSlam so AJ can feel what it's like to lose what he loves most, because the fan lost AJ a long time ago. Joe reads the end of the letter, and it's supposedly signed by AJ Styles' wife, Wendy. Joe's music hits, and AJ stares from the ring as Joe walks to the back, and SmackDown Live goes off the air. I don't know what you guys are getting from this, but I doubt AJ Styles' wife gets physically involved here like Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho, but that's the first thing that I thought of. This has some inklings of Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels back when they feuded. And my God, was that one of my favorite feuds of all time. That's when Jericho was fucking on top of the world. He was fan-fucking-tastic. And the chaos that those guys caused, man, that was a brilliant fucking program. I feel and see some inklings of Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels in this feud. And I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know where they're going with AJ and Joe. But I do feel, I'm loving everything so far, but I do feel as a fan that this is slightly accelerated just a little bit to where I think it should be at this moment. I feel like WWE has rushed through a few things to get this match at SummerSlam without giving it at least a couple more weeks to marinate. That's where I am on this. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to enjoy it. I am going to let these guys go at SummerSlam. You cannot go the route of Nakamura and Styles at WrestleMania. You cannot overproduce these guys to a point where it's going to be a disappointment. This is Joe. This is Styles. They've worked together several times before. This is not their first dance. It's not their second dance. It's not even their third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh dance. You let them go out there and you give them all the time in the fucking world to produce a fucking 5-star classic. That's what you do. This match, this brand, this championship, this fucking show needs it. Because right now, the only thing that SummerSlam has holding its back up is some sort of fuck finish in the main event that's ultimately going to fail. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. That's all we have to look forward to. Other than that, SummerSlam is a complete waste of time. SmackDown Live didn't do anything to get you any more excited on their end for SummerSlam. They've done a very admirable job up until this point. Much better than Monday Night Raw. This go-home show did not feel like a go-home show. It did not add any more level of excitement to SummerSlam. But WWE focused on things that needed to focus on. They focused on the women. They added a nice little wrinkle into the AJ Styles Samoa Joe feud. They did that beautiful video package along the entire show in a 3-part series with The Miz and Daniel Bryan. And Almas and Rusev had a nice little exchange back and forth with Vega and Lana as well. They did some decent stuff, but ultimately this was not a good show tonight. And I'm going to give them a pass because they've done pretty good leading up to this show going into SummerSlam. Better than Monday Night Raw. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. If you missed anything on the channel, Monday Night Raw review is live on the channel right now. Go and check it out. Tomorrow, I have an NXT TakeOver Brooklyn number 4 preview and predictions video. We're doing something different for SummerSlam. Usually I include it on this weekend's Off the Script. I'm not doing it. I'm doing it as a separate entity. So not only are you going to get NXT TakeOver preview and predictions, you're going to get a full podcast this weekend as well. Thank you guys so very much. Please go check everything out that you might have missed. Everything you missed potentially is in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of your screen. I also got a WWE 2K19 video. I got something flying around my face. WWE 2K19 video as well, 20-minute video highlighting my thoughts on the Daniel Bryan 2K showcase mode that was revealed today with video and screenshots and my thoughts and opinions behind all of that. Thank you guys so very much. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn #4 preview and predictions. We'll hit NXT on their go-home show, and then we'll get ready for the weekend with Off the Script and SummerSlam preview and predictions. I'll talk to you guys later.